For some backstory, I, F24, have a rough relationship with my dad's M43 wife E, F41. They got together in 2006 and married in 2011 and have had 2 children since then. E has never liked me. I was introduced to her when I was 7 and things were instantly sour. She was mean, snarky, and had no interest in me whatsoever. Now, as an adult, I can tolerate her behavior, which has gotten significantly worse as I've grown up and began to talk back. The issue lies with the fact that my dad has always allowed it. I'm a grown woman and can handle myself now, as I've been doing for years. But when I was a child, he had nothing to say about her borderline abusive behavior and will find ways to change the subject, excuse it whenever it's brought up. This has significantly damaged our relationship, and we're low contact as of now. So I'm getting married in November this year to J, M25. We've been together for 11 years. E is insistent that she will be there. She will not. I have made this clear since we got engaged in November 2023. My dad is invited, but I made it plainly clear last year that she wasn't welcome as a result of her behavior, attitude, and treatment of the both of us. It's worth mentioning here that J also doesn't want E present as she is discriminatory. J is trans, FTM, and E will dead name him, make comments about it all, and is overall hateful. He is also defensive of me given that he has been with me for the majority of E's treatment. So my dad met with me last week and told me that if E wasn't present at my wedding, he wouldn't be either. I honestly expected something like this to happen, so I said that it was fine. He was confused and asked me to elaborate, so I explained that he didn't have to attend, but it meant that I would never speak to him again, that I had dealt with him choosing E over me for almost 20 years, and that my wedding, of his first and only daughter, being a subject of debate, was the final straw. He said nothing for a moment afterwards and then got up and left. E has been blowing up my phone with explicit texts, but it's been radio silence from my dad since our chat. As I said, I've dealt with E's treatment, and by extension, my dad's silence for almost 2 decades. My wedding feels like a good place to finally end this all, to start over. I don't see a way to fix this, or our relationship, as long as he's with E. AITA for telling my dad, I don't care if he's present at my wedding. An update. So my wedding was just over a week ago, and it was absolutely perfect. It was me and Jay surrounded by the people we love and the ones who love us most. Neither my dad or E were there. Following our last talk where I told him I didn't care if he was present, it was complete silence from him for just over a month. I took my dad's silence as his mind made up, and I actually felt at ease with it, which was another huge wake-up call. He finally messaged me in October and asked to talk over the phone. I told Jay, and he said to do it and use the opportunity to make my final choice on the matter and set it in stone. So we spoke. He asked that I allow E at the wedding. I said no. He said that he wouldn't come if she wasn't there. I said I didn't care. We went back and forth for a little bit, mostly just repeating ourselves, until he basically said, "Is this really the hill you want to die on?" I said yes, told him that he had a week to give me a simple yes or no as to whether he would be there, and hung up. He messaged me a couple of days later with a long paragraph about how I was giving him ultimatums, making him choose, holding onto the past, petty and disrespectful, etc. And something snapped. I said that he had more than enough chances to attempt to make things right, but that I was done, and blocked him. On the day of my wedding, I tried not to think about it, and it was honestly easier than I thought, to the point I didn't realize he wasn't there until midway through the ceremony. I was hearing from mutual friends and family that my dad has been pretty silent on the whole thing. Other members of my family, close friends, were present at the wedding and asked why my dad wasn't there. And I just told them it was a story for another day, not something I wanted to get into on my wedding. Honestly, this entire situation is just draining. I've known for a long time that it would end in flames at some point or another, and I'm not entirely sure why I held out that little bit of hope for so long. I genuinely feel at peace for the first time in years, and relieved that I no longer have to deal with him or E. I'm in bed with my now husband writing this post and feeling better than ever. I've realized I gave him too much of my time and patience when he didn't deserve it. This toxic chapter of my life is done. I'm more in love with my childhood sweetheart than I thought was possible, and can't stop grinning at the fact I get to call him my husband.